Welcome back to Bat Fridays here on One Comic Book a Day as we are finishing our way through Batman number 6 with Suicide Beat, a police revenge story. Oh boy, that's exactly what I want to read in the year of our Lord 2023. So I'm already not really into this. A mobster called Fancy Dan, not to be confused with the Fancy Dan that once showed up in a Superman comic, nor the actual well-known Fancy Dan from Spider-Man, the leader of the Enforcers, who of course work for the big man, whatever, Montana Ox and Fancy Dan, if you're watching this. So Fancy Dan is having every cop who runs this beat murdered. There's been 3, and then new cop Kelly is put on the beat. The same day his son is being given his badge. Kelly is, of course, murdered. So his son, Kelly, the new rookie officer, takes over the beat to bring down Fancy Dan. And for some reason, the cops believe he can do this, even though he's only been on the job for 1 day. Batman decides to get involved. Apparently, the first 3 cops being murdered wasn't enough for him to pay attention to it. It's definitely assumed that him hanging out in the commissioner's office is what gets him to investigate this. But this had to be a new story. 3 cops in a row were murdered there before the 4th. This should have been something he heard about a while ago. So already the rookie is having difficulties with people talking to him. He's not immediately murdered like his father is, so I guess that's somewhat better than how his father did. He meets Fancy Dan. He saves a little girl from being run over by the mobsters on the run. Batman comes up and beats them, and then there's a huge fight scene. This comic is not exactly very focused on its pacing. He stops the car, then there's a massive fight scene. It's just kind of a massive fight scene until we get to the next thing. Batman does get captured by Fancy Dan and put into the death trap that is the exact same death trap from The Dark Knight, where there's just barrels of gasoline in a room. The place catches fire, but Robin and Kelly show up to save him. By the time they get to the fire, Batman's already freed himself. He doesn't actually explain how until the very end. It's such a boilerplate. Yeah, we didn't think about this. We just wanted him free. He does save a woman's baby from the fire by throwing the baby off the top of the building to the awaiting hands of Kelly on another building. I don't know if Batman nor the writers are aware of how frail babies are. Things you have to hold and support the head when holding, because it's very easy for accidents to happen. But no, he just throws this baby off the top of the roof, a good 15 to 20 feet, maybe another 5 to 10 down. The baby's fine. And Fancy Dan is going to jail for, I don't know, a bunch of fights and fighting. I'm not exactly sure what evidence they got on him other than Batman fighting him. Oh, and at one point there is a boxing match. I almost forgot. It's not exactly the biggest part of the plot. Fancy Dan has a boxing match fixed, so Batman takes out one of the contenders and replaces himself as the opponent and wins the boxing match, ruining the bet. Kind of is the final straw to Fancy Dan for him to eventually capture Batman. But other than that, I completely forgot about it, and I read this comic 5 minutes ago. Okay, that is it from Batman number 6, Suicide Beat. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, hit the bell icon to get a notification when new video is up. I do this Monday through Friday. But Mondays and Thursdays, I cover a Superman comic in either Superman or Action Comics. And please join me next time. Same comic book channel, same bat day. Have a great day.